Good morning. I'm Donna Pittman.
I'm Cody Holyoke. Yeah, and when it comes to the nationwide races, we knew it was a possibility, special in the race for president. This morning we are seeing it. We don't yet know who the commander-in-chief is going to be come January 20th. The race is still too close to call. Number of states are still working as we speak to count all of the early, absentee, and mail-in ballots.
Okay, here is where the presidential race stands right now. Take a look at your screen there. Former Vice President Joe Biden winning 238 to 213 in the Electoral College. Biden got a win overnight in Arizona, giving him more paths to victory. However, anybody's game still. Both candidates still have plenty of paths to win. And locally, President Trump won big in both Missouri and in Kansas.
Now, 8 states are still counting, and they are still too close to call. Elections officials in many of those states, you see, weren't allowed to count mail-in votes ahead of time. Overnight, former VP Joe Biden attended a drive-through rally in Delaware where he told voters he believes that he will win, but he urged patience, telling the crowd that they need to be prepared and wait until all of the votes are counted.
We could know the results as early as tomorrow morning, but it may take a little longer. As I've said all along, it's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people. But I'm optimistic about this outcome.
And it is going to take a little longer. President Trump had a very different message overnight, falsely claiming that the election was fraudulent. He said the counting of remaining ballots needs to stop.
This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. We did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation.
Now, the president vowed to get the Supreme Court involved to help him, potentially later on today. Now, we should mention again, he has not won yet. There are no documented cases of fraud. There's a process to get to the Supreme Court. You got to go through state to federal court with a legal basis, and no one is casting new votes. Elections officials are merely tallying the results coming in.
Okay, and we have been getting more information throughout the morning on the counting process in those states that are still too early to call.
Yeah, the numbers have been ebbing and flowing throughout the morning. Let's go to KMBC9 Rob Hughes in our newsroom tracking the situation. Rob.
Hey, Cody and Donna, good morning. Yeah, former Vice President Joe Biden continues to pick up additional votes in the upper Midwest. Now, those swing states are currently counting mail-in ballots from some of their large counties. Want to focus on Wisconsin. Now, Biden has doubled his lead over President Trump to now more than 20,000 after votes from Green Bay and Kenosha were counted. Now, Biden will continue, of course, hoping to grow that lead a little bit more. That's because if the margin remains under 1%, meanwhile, this could be heading to a recount. Now, by the way, the race in Michigan continues to get closer too. President Trump's lead has shrunk to less than 10,000 votes there. Of course, we'll continue to watch the counts in both states. Rob Hughes, KMBC 9 News.
All right, and we'll be checking in throughout the morning, Rob. As we have said, as you've heard at least one of the candidates say, patience is key. The story is still changing by the hour. Continue to follow results and developments all morning long. We also have updated results scrolling across the bottom of your screen. You can also find them at KMBC.com.
Now, the fate of who controls the Senate is also still too close to call. Both parties have picked up a seat so far, so it's really left things unchanged. 6 races still have to be called, so either party could end up in control. Here at home, we do have some answers. Kansas's U.S. Senate race went to the Republicans. Roger Marshall is your senator-elect. He defeated Democrat Dr. Barbara Bollier for the seat left by retiring Senator Pat Roberts. KMBC 9's Matt Evans is live this morning after Marshall's win on election night. Matt?
Donna, here at the Johnson County Election Office in Olathe, where it was a pretty early night for election workers, having the final unofficial results tabulated by 8:12 last night. That's largely due to a large tally of advanced voting in the county. Now, of course, here when it comes to turnout, about 74% was the turnout, which is down a bit from the 80% projection that election commissioners were thinking might have happened. State Senator Barbara Bollier did very well in Johnson County, winning the county by 8 points, but it was not enough to penetrate the red wall that is western Kansas. Roger Marshall was confident coming into last night, outpacing polls, winning this race by about 11 points. Once he pulled ahead, his lead only widened. In his victory speech last night, the two-term congressman talked about working together as a state and a nation to combat COVID-19. He also pledged to work for all Kansans, regardless of political party.
I also want to thank for every person, though, voted in this election, regardless if you voted for Dr. Bollier, for Roger Marshall, that we're always going to be Kansans first, that we're Americans first. And I am going to represent this entire state, that is my responsibility and that's my duty.
Kansas Republicans continue their winning streak for U.S. Senate seats in this state. A Democrat hasn't won a U.S. Senate seat since 1932 in the state of Kansas. Live in Olathe this morning, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
Marshall's opponent, Barbara Bollier, didn't have a large crowd to speak to as she conceded to Marshall. Her campaign chose to keep the room empty for social distancing's sake. KMBC 9's Haley Harrison takes us there.
Democrats had high hopes of flipping this U.S. Senate seat. It was a competitive race, though, for the first time in a very long time. Barbara Bollier telling her campaign staff that this was a spirited and scrappy campaign and that it exceeded expectations, saying she has no regrets.
Of course, this wasn't the finale we hoped for. But at a time of deep national cynicism, when faith in our democratic institutions hangs by a thread, I consider it a sacred patriotic duty to accept tonight's outcome.
Bollier is retiring as a Kansas state senator. Her campaign telling me that after a long, hard-fought campaign, she's ready for a break. At the Overland Park Convention Center, Haley Harrison, KMBC 9 News.
On the Missouri side, the big race on the ballot, of course, the race for governor. Incumbent Mike Parson beat out Democrat Nicole Galloway to be elected to his first full term as governor of Missouri. Now, Republicans gathered for this watch party in Springfield last night. Parson had been leading in the polls, so a lot of supporters came in very confident he would win this. But it turns out it was a much more competitive race than analysts had predicted. The governor says he believes his balanced approach when it comes to this pandemic and how he handled it is what Missourians want.
And I believe people believe in common sense. And I think they want leaders that believe in common sense. They don't want government to tell them what they want to do every day. They want to live their lives in peace. And as long as I'm governor, we're going to do those things.
Governor Parson called a special session for Thursday to make budget adjustments, including allocating the allocation that it is of more federal funds now available as part of the coronavirus relief bill.
7:08 right now. Big race in Kansas was a fight for a seat in Congress representing Kansas' 3rd Congressional District. Incumbent Democrat Sharice Davids won the election against Republican Amanda Atkins. District 3 covers the KC Metro on the Kansas side.
Now, on the Missouri side, U.S. House District 4 seat will stay Republican. Republican incumbent Vicky Hartzler won the race against Democratic candidate Lindsey Simmons. This will be Hartzler's 6th term in the U.S. House.